Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jackie of Jamie Reed Booklet. So today I am making a video. This was requested by Keela, and I promised in the last video that I would go more in depth, and so here it is. So she wanted to know how to answer questions during the interview process, and no, actually, what she asked me was what were the questions I was asked when I interviewed to become a unit secretary. And I honestly did not remember all the questions. I remember some of them, but not all of them. And so I told her what I would do is make a video on just like the type of questions that you are likely to be asked in an interview and how I would answer them. And so this is the video. So the first question that you're more likely to be asked is, why do you want to work for us? And so the way I would answer it is because, I mean, it depends on where you are. So now sometimes you can be new to the industry. Sometimes you can be not new. You could be an expert in the industry. You could be new to the area. So your answer varies. So if I were to go to a hospital now and they were asked the question, why do you want to work for us? I would speak on, how I have heard about the hospital and I've heard great things about it, read reviews. I would say something about like if they opened up a uh, new facility, like a addition, like a heart hospital. Like so, sometimes hospitals they build on and they open up in the area they build on is a hospital. So like when I worked in the ICU, it was its own hospital. So that's why we had a sister floor. We had an area where they did surgery, things like that. It was a part of the hospital, but it was its own hospital. So, so I would speak on something like that. I would speak on any awards that they have, and any um, certifications that they have. Like some places are like they're a trauma hospital, things like that. There are things that differentiate the hospitals from each other. Some hospitals have certain certifications, and so I would speak on that and I would say, I would like to be a part of that. So that's how I would answer the question, why do you want to work for us? So I would be like, I have experience, and then, I believe that my experience could add to the continued success of this, medical field facility, this hospital, things like that. So that's how I would answer it. I would speak on their accomplishments and then I would tie my experience into that. Now, if I don't have any experience, I will speak on their accomplishments and then I would say I could bring, my compassion or um, something like that. I could bring that to this facility as well. So that's what I would say as far as why do you want to work for us? The next question is to describe yourself in 3 words. You get this a lot, and you need to have at least 2 or 3 words to describe you, to describe yourself. So one of my probably my first one I will always go to is hardworking because I am very hardworking. I am one of those people. I work hard. The second word that I would use to describe myself would be focused. I am a person that is focused on a task and I get it done. So that that kind of ties in with the the first one. And then, the third one would be um I'm trying to think. I mean, and if it's hard for you, just say something that they would like to hear. Teamwork, I'm good at working on teams, and then kind of, especially if there's a pause, like if you have to pause to think of something, um, give an example. So like with teamwork, or something like that. So I would say hardworking would be the first. Second would be focused. third would be teamwork. Let's say teamwork. So I would say, I worked in ICU, and though I wasn't, you know, a clinical, on the clinical side, I was more, helper, secretary. I will always assist the nurses if they needed help, like turning a patient or going down to get, going to the cafeteria to get the lunch tray for for a patient that came at the change of shift, something like that. So that shows teamwork, that you're willing to go outside of your job description to help the team. Do you understand? So I will say something like that. If you have a hard time coming up with a third one, like a first one, second one, third one, try to give an example. So my first go-to is always hard. My first one is always hard working because I am a hard worker. And then my second is I'm very focused on the task and I will get it done. And then the third one will be teamwork. And then question is, what is your biggest weakness? Sometimes they might ask you, what is your strength? Sometimes they ask you, what is your weakness? My answer would be, and I'm being honest, my weakness is not being patient when I feel that something needs to be done. I mean, that is a weakness of mine because I'm a person. I'm a get it done type of person. So, and I've been told that. And if you watch my video, Damn Near Perfect, that's where I get the slogan from. Because when I did my eval, I was told that I was damn near perfect because I got like a 2.9 out of a possible 3. And the only critique was I seemed to be hard on the other secretaries. I seem to be harsh, and that is a weakness of mine. I know that's me. Now I wasn't even mad because she was telling the truth. Now I'm like, well, don't be mad at me. Well, I was like, don't be mad at me because they can't represent like I represent. But I know that's how I am. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, the other secretaries felt that I wasn't patient with them because they couldn't do what I could do. So like I could do it and not break a sweat, not think about it. But then it seemed like I wanted them to do the same thing. Eh, I don't think I want them to do the same thing. I just want you to at least do at least do half your damn job. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm a I don't want to say overachiever, but I'm a represent. But I want you to at least do your job. Like, just like it ain't that hard just to, file. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna come in here, file, clean, do all this. But all I want you to do is just file. That's what you're supposed to do. So that was my issue. And I think that's one of my weaknesses. They see it as I'm being hard. I'm not patient with them when it's not actually that. Is that I just want them to actually do their job description. Do you understand? Not be perfect like me. Damn near perfect. So that's what I would say. I think that's one of my weaknesses is that I come off as not being patient with coworkers. And I mean, and then I would explain it. I wouldn't explain it, like that, like it ain't my fault, But I was like, yeah, and I understand. I would be like, yeah, I understand where they're coming from, and things like that. So I would acknowledge it, and then I would say, yes, I understand where they're coming from, and I'm working on that, and I'm working to be more patient. So that's how I would handle that. Another question is, what do you know about our company? So one of the things, like when I was talking about what the very first question is, why do you want to work for us? You need to do some research on this company. You need to know what their mission statement is. You need to know things about them so that you can say, I know this about you. I know that you just opened this hospital. I know you just won this award. I know you just got this certification from the state. I know JCO came through and they said y'all was all right. They ain't shut you down. You need to know something about the company. You can Google the company. You can go to their website. You can read press releases. You can, 9 times out of 10, if you live in the area, if you know people that work there, you can say some things that that maybe wasn't public, public news, but that you've heard. I know a few people that work here and they speak very highly of, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So when they ask, what do you know about a company? Let them know what you know. You need to Google it. You need to know what's going on. The next question is, why do you want to leave your current job? So if you have a current job, they're going to want to know why you want to leave it. You're going to be asked this question. Or if you don't have a job, they might ask you, why did you leave your last job? Things like that. It's the same. And if you have a job and you're trying to move on, just say, I'm looking for a change of scenery, I'm looking for a challenge. Um, I've been there 2 years, 3 years, and I'm just looking for more. I wanna expand my horizon, increase my knowledge, something like that. Stuff they want to hear, that fluff. If they ask you why you left your last job, be honest, but don't be too honest. So if you left, you left your last job so you didn't catch a case, be locked up, just say, it was time to move on. It was a great company. I was there for X number of years, but it was time to move on. And I wanted to explore other things and things like that. Don't go and get into it. Wow, why, this lady said this and she took your parking spot and she never said good morning and all this. They're like, no, just say, it was time to move on, and things like that. Don't go into why you left your last job. And if that's what's going on at your current job, say the same thing. I feel it's time to move on to um, other things, and just keep it cute. The next question is, how have you calmed a stressful situation? So if you had a situation going on, how were you able to calm it down so it didn't get out of hand? So I'm not talking about it's out of hand, but it can get out of hand. How have you handled that? What did you do? What steps did you take? And then this could be also, let me go back. Let me go back. How would you deal with hostile people? So they can ask you, it could be either or. Because working in the hospital, you're going to have hostile people. People are hostile for a lot of reasons. They're hostile because their emotions all over the place. Okay. And it's just the patient. It's not just the patient. It's the co-workers, doctors, vendors. It's a lot going on. Visitors. You have patients that are on medication. It makes them hostile. They're not usually like that, but because of the medication, they're like that. You can have people who they they're taking, they're one way, but then they take medication they ain't supposed to be taking, like their own medication, or they going off the floor, leaving the hospital, doing God knows what, and then they come back hostile. A situation can happen. Visitors, you know, their mama in the hospital. They don't know. Their mama called them and said that they didn't bring me my lunch, and now here they come up there ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? It's all kinds of situations. How would you handle that? Uh, you know, I do my chain of command. So I get the charge nurse because I ain't fighting with you. Okay, I get the charge nurse, and I always do my chain of command because I ain't fight with nobody. And then two, if I need to call security, I will call security because I know the number. Okay, because you had a code. You call code. If they fighting code strong, whatever, and then you got that other number. You got that red phone Batman number. Okay, I know that number too. So, and then I know the number to the police. Okay, because you don't know how many times I had to call the police on folks. But anyway, but like I always do my chain of command. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not getting beat up. Do the chain of command. Let your charge nurse know. Let the nurse know. Things like that. have the phone, have the the phone near me so I can get out of harm's way. And same thing, how have you calmed the situation? So it just all depends on what kind of question they ask you. How have you calmed the situation? I get the charge nurse. That's how I calm the situation. And then one I passed, I went past it. Let's see if I can go back. They got this thing. It's a new type of way, but I can't go back. Sometimes I ask you scenarios. So not all this is during a job interview. They'll ask you scenarios. If this were to happen, how would you handle it? So one of the questions I got asked during the interview, this was for a different. It wasn't for a hospital, but it was the same position. It was like I mean, I guess it was like a a rehabilitation place. So it was the same position, just a rehabilitation. And the guy, he asked me, he said, if the phone is ringing and then the other phone is ringing, like the one phone line is ringing, the other phone line is ringing, which line do you answer first? And I said the first one that's ringing. And he looked at me, and then he looked at me, and then I said, well, actually, I would answer the first line, put him on hold, and then answer the second line, place him on hold, and then go back to the first line. That's the right answer. But my answer was the first one that rings, because I answer the phone on the first ring. Okay, that is me. Now, if I'm on the phone and the line rings, the other line rings, I'll place them on hold, and then I answer the other line and place them on hold, and then go back to the first line. I don't have phones just ringing like two calls at once. I'm sorry, I don't. I mean, I'm just telling you my skill level. I get that phone on that first ring. I don't let phones ring, because that's how you get all these phones ringing, because you're sitting there and the phone ring once, it ring twice, it ring three times, ring four times. By the time you answer it, now another one ringing. So my answer was always the first one that rings, because I get it on the first ring. See, when you let it ring five times, then the next call is coming through. You could already been on the phone, said your name, found out what they want, and transferred the call. You know what I'm saying? But now, I don't know. I mean, I had times where I was on the phone and the phone rang. I mean, but I handle mine. I'm just saying, I got skills. But yeah, you're supposed to answer the first one, place them on hold, answer the second, place them on hold, go back to the first call. That's the correct answer. And let's see. The next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You're gonna get that. You're gonna get that question. And your answer should be like my answer would be, 5 years. I hope to have see myself here. Um, I am a very loyal person to a company. If I don't want to say if I'm treated right, you treat me right, but I'm a very loyal person, because what they're looking for is job commitment. They want to see if you're the type of person that job hops. If you go from place to place. I mean, they can tell by your resume. They can also tell by, they got ways to know everywhere you worked, even if you didn't put on your resume. They know. And so they want to see where they want to know if you just gonna be here for 5 minutes and then be gone. So that's why they ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You say, I hope to see myself here and growing with the company, and I'm a very loyal employee, very hardworking employee, and I would like to grow with the company. That will be my answer. And then they always gonna ask you this one: do you have any questions for us? And not, I mean, is my answer, it varies, because I'm the type of person, when I'm interviewing, I'm asking them questions while they're interviewing me. I'm asking them questions. So, like, I mean, for real. So sometimes when we get to that last question, do you have any questions for me? My answer is no, because I've already asked you everything. Like, I'm asking questions. Like, I'm that chick, okay? I'm not sitting there waiting on you to ask me questions. I'm asking you questions. We having a conversation up in here. And so, you know, um, I don't really ask about pay. I might now if they brought it up or if they said something, then I might ask it at the end. So like this one place I interviewed for, they were talking. He was talking, and then I guess we got, I don't know. Oh, because I said, now do you pay? Because it was something that was said earlier, so I went ahead and asked, about money. Well, actually, what I said was, now, do you pay weekly or bi-weekly? Because some places pay weekly and some places pay bi-weekly. Okay, this is a whole different industry I'm talking about. And so I did ask that question, and they was like, well, we pay once a month. So they pay, literally, you get one paycheck a month. Now this is a business, okay? And they pay once a month, like one day, like on the first of the month. Like, this ain't the government. What you talking about? Is this SSI? What, I mean, what is this? Like, do I look like I mean, I know I'm old. I got some gray hairs. Is this SSI? Is this disability? What do you mean the first of the month? How you only pay somebody once a week? I mean, once a month. What is this? Okay. Do I look like? So, you know, because most places they pay every 2 weeks, bi-weekly. But then some places, in this industry pay every week. They talking about once a month. I'm like, you, child. Okay, do I look like what is it? Child support? What is this? Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, you lucky, 'cause I always got some money, coming in. But you what? But so like they say not to ask about money. There are some questions you don't ask about. But like I said, when they get to the last question, see, because I didn't ask the money. I didn't ask the money. I asked when they got paid. Because something just seemed off. Something seemed off. And so that's why I asked that question. But I never asked about money because I knew I was going to get paid. But something just with the conversation seemed off. So that was, and I'm glad I asked that question because I am not the one. But they say not to ask like how much does this job pay. But you gotta know you gotta know the conversation, how it's flowing. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I ask questions. I'm that chick. Like this one job I was interviewing for, they were talking about you need to get this, and I was like, I'm sorry, what is that? Like, I like what is it? And they was like, oh, it allows you to blah blah blah. I said, oh, okay, okay, and I went on and got it. Don't play with me. And but I didn't know what it was. So that, I mean, and that was during the conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type to ask questions in an interview. You ain't interviewing me. I'm interviewing you too. You know. So you need to you need to, when you go in there, you need to be confident in your abilities. Don't ever go in no job desperate, even if you are desperate. Okay, don't ever let them know how thirsty and hungry you are. Okay, because when people know how thirsty and hungry you are, they will take advantage of you and have you doing all kind of for $5. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it because they like, oh, they need a job. We're gonna pay them $5. You know what I'm saying? And then you in the worst position than you was. I mean, you kind of grateful, but then you know what I'm saying? Because like you can't survive because they know you're thirsty and hungry. You gotta have that confidence, but don't be too like you don't need this job. They need you. You gotta know how to work it, but you gotta have that confidence. You gotta have that confidence, and you gotta know how to answer. And you can't be stuttering and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like I think the hardest question is um 3 words to describe yourself, and then what your weakness is. So me, I know what my weakness is. I know what it is. And do you have any questions for us? People think that's a hard question, but I really don't think it is. If you're engaging in the conversation, they're interviewing you, but you're also interviewing them. You know what I'm saying? And and but I would encourage you to know about the company you're applying for. Know something about them, do some research, things like that. So I hope I have answered your question. If y'all have any questions, you can put them below. You can also follow me on my blog. It's J. Marie Booklets. That's where I talk about being a unit secretary. And don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.